3 days have passed since the solar eclipse. And if you're watching this right now, something tells me you're still sitting with something. A clarity that arrived that you're not sure what to do with. A realization about a relationship, a job, a version of yourself, that the eclipse illuminated with uncomfortable precision. The eclipse was an invitation to let go of old identities and ways of seeking approval that prevent us from growing into who we truly are. The eclipse showed you what it was. The question is, why can't you release it? Because here's the truth most astrology content won't say directly. Knowing what to release and actually releasing it are two completely different things. And most people get the second part completely wrong. Not because they're not ready, but because they're approaching release the wrong way. That's what today's video is about. The 3 most common mistakes people make when trying to release during an eclipse corridor, and what actually works instead. Stay with me. If this channel has been helping you navigate this eclipse season, hit like right now. It helps this reach more people who are sitting with exactly this right now. And subscribe. The lunar eclipse on August 28th is coming, and that video is the one that closes everything the solar eclipse opened. You don't want to miss it. Now, why release is harder than it looks? Let me give you the precise context for why the next 13 days matter so much. Between the solar eclipse on August 12th and the lunar eclipse on August 28th, there is a 15-day corridor of intense transformation. The solar eclipse opens something. The lunar eclipse will complete it, release, catharsis, ending. The first half of the month is about visibility, decisions, and fresh starts under Leo's intensity. The second half softens into Pisces, better suited to rest, forgiveness, and quiet emotional processing. This means we are currently in the transition, the midpoint of the corridor. The dramatic clarity of the solar eclipse has landed. The emotional release of the lunar eclipse is approaching. And in this middle space, this is where most people get stuck. They received the eclipse's message. They know what needs to go. But they are still holding on. Anything preventing you from feeling whole, powerful, creative, or loved could suddenly fall away, but you have to keep letting go. The corridor is not giving you unlimited time. August 28th arrives whether you've done the inner work or not. The question is whether the lunar eclipse finds you prepared or still gripping what was already ended on August 12th. Mistake 1. Trying to release through force. The most common mistake. You decide what needs to go, you announce it to yourself, you affirm it repeatedly, and then you're surprised when it's still there. Meaningful beginnings require meaningful endings. This event asks us to trust the timing of life's unfolding and surrender our attachment to the old and the known. Surrender is the operative word. Release is not a force. It is not something you push. It is something you stop resisting. The grip doesn't require effort to maintain. It requires effort to release. Which means the work is not adding something. It is removing the tension that has been holding it in place. Trying to force release is like trying to fall asleep by trying harder. The effort itself defeats the purpose. What works is allowing. Mistake 2. Releasing the symptom instead of the root. The eclipse didn't illuminate a behavior. It illuminated a belief underneath a behavior. The solar eclipse in Leo is asking a singular, profound question between the pull of the collective and the truth of the individual. Where does your authentic self live? If you are trying to release a relationship, but the root belief underneath it is, I don't deserve to be chosen, releasing the relationship without addressing the belief means the same pattern arrives in a different form. If you are trying to release a job, but the root belief is safety requires staying small, leaving the job without addressing the belief means the new situation recreates the same dynamic. The eclipse showed you the door. What's behind the door is the belief that has been keeping it closed. That belief is what actually needs to be released. Mistake 3. Expecting release to feel like relief. This is perhaps the most important mistake. And it's the one that causes people to think they haven't released when they actually have. The Pisces eclipse says, let it out, the tears, the relief, the truth you've been swimming around. Release often doesn't feel like peace. It feels like grief. Like the specific sadness of something that was real and that is genuinely over. If you are releasing something that mattered, you will feel its loss. That feeling is not evidence that you did it wrong. It is evidence that what you released was real. Grief is the price of genuine release. not the sign that release failed. Here are the 3 practices that support genuine release during the eclipse corridor. They are simple. They are not dramatic. And they work precisely because they work with the eclipse energy rather than against it. Practice 1. Name it at the root. Not what you're releasing, why you are holding it. Tonight, write one sentence: I have been holding on to thing, because without it I fear, root belief. Not because you're broken. Because that belief was once protective. The eclipse is not asking you to judge why you held on. It is asking you to see it clearly enough to choose differently. Clarity is the beginning of release. And that sentence is the clearest thing you can write right now. Practice 2. Let the feeling be present without feeding it. When the grief or resistance or sadness arrives, and it will, instead of pushing it away or narrating it into a story, try this. Place your hand on your chest. Feel the sensation without labeling it as good or bad. Breathe into it for 60 seconds. Don't try to resolve it. Don't try to understand it. Just let it be present in your body without adding thought to it. The corridor between the eclipses is the time to process emotions, journal, move your body. Emotion wants to move through the body, not be analyzed by the mind. Let it pass through rather than holding it still with thought. Practice 3. Take the one aligned action. Release is not only internal. It often requires one external act that makes the internal shift real. The conversation you've been avoiding. The decision you've been delaying. The thing you've been keeping open that you already know is closed. The corridor asks, say yes to opportunities, begin new projects, take visible action. One action. Specific. Done before the lunar eclipse arrives on August 28th. Not a grand gesture. The smallest possible act that makes the release real in your life, not just in your journal. Here is what I want to offer this community specifically. Everything I described today, naming the root belief, letting the feeling move through, taking the one aligned action, is the general framework. But the release the eclipse is asking for is not general. It is happening in a specific house of your chart. It is connected to a specific Saturn wound, a specific South Node pattern, a specific area where you have been performing rather than living. And here is what the eclipse corridor is doing right now that most people are missing. The solar eclipse in Leo conjunct the South Node is asking you to release old patterns of seeking attention and approval. The lunar eclipse in Pisces on August 28th will complete that release emotionally. These 2 eclipses are working together. The solar showed you what. The lunar will help you feel and finalize the release. You have 13 days between now and August 28th. That is your corridor. That is your window. And here is what most people are going to miss. The release the eclipse is asking of you is specific to your chart, not your sun sign in general. It lands in a specific house. It touches specific natal planets. It is asking you to release something that can only be seen clearly when you know where 20 degrees Leo falls in your personal chart. Moon reading gives you exactly that for free. A personalized reading built around your exact birth date that shows you precisely where the eclipse landed in your chart, which area of your life is being most directly activated, and what your natal configuration says about what this corridor is asking you to release specifically. This is not a generic eclipse description. It is not a broad Leo season forecast. It is a reading built around your exact birth date, showing you the specific house, the specific planets being activated, and what that means for your personal release process between now and August 28th. Thousands of people have used this reading throughout the Barbalt Basket and Eclipse series. The most common response? Finally understanding why certain areas of life have always felt like they operate under a different set of rules. The eclipse made that undeniable. The reading makes it navigable. The link is in the description. First one. Free. 2 minutes. Before the lunar eclipse arrives on August 28th and the corridor closes. And for those of you who are ready to go deeper, we created something specifically for this community here at Inner Cosmos. The Eclipse Manifestation Blueprint is our own 36-page personalized guide for the Leo-Aquarius eclipse cycle, a 2-year system running from 2026 through 2028. It was made by us, for this community, for exactly this moment in the cosmic story. Inside you get a complete personalized section for your rising sign, the specific belief system the eclipse is asking you to release, your North Node direction for the next 2 years, a 30-day daily practice designed specifically for your sign, and your personal eclipse intention statement to carry through the entire 2026 to 2028 cycle. But here is what matters most for today specifically. The blueprint includes a complete release practice aligned with the eclipse corridor, helping you identify the root belief your south node carries, move through the emotional layer the lunar eclipse will activate, and take the one aligned action that makes the internal shift real before August 28th. 2 links in the description and pinned in the comments. Both worth your time today. The moon reading is free and takes 2 minutes. The Eclipse Manifestation Blueprint is made by Inner Cosmos for this community, for this exact moment. You have 13 days. Go get your map. The eclipse showed you what to release. That was its job on August 12th. The corridor between now and August 28th is your job. The naming, the feeling, the one aligned action that makes the internal shift real in your external life. Courage first. Feeling second. That's the order the sky is asking for in August. The eclipse gave you the courage to see it. The corridor is where you do the feeling. And August 28th, the lunar eclipse in Pisces, is where it completes. Drop in the comments, what did the eclipse show you that you're still holding on to? You don't need to share details. Just name it, a pattern, a relationship, a version of yourself. Because naming it here, in this community, out loud, that's the beginning of the practice. If this video helped something, click like it and share it. Someone in your life is sitting with exactly what you're sitting with and has no language for it yet. Next video, Venus just entered Libra and it is exposing every relationship in your life that doesn't actually fit who you are becoming. That one is coming on August 17th. Until then, the corridor is open. The work is yours. And you are more ready than you think.